past few months, myself and my team have built a travel app. For those who don't know, the TravelBox is currently an online search engine in an app that will help you plan your next vacation. The plan was simple: build an online platform that allows people to search and plan all the activities for their next trip. But in order to tell you why the TravelBox was built, you must first learn the values behind the app and what rules were predetermined for it. The best way that I can summarize its content, like Wizard of Oz, is giving you a peek behind the curtains. What the TravelBox app needs to have. Number 1, the app needs to force users to go outside and travel. This is a pretty straightforward rule, but why have this rule? And why have this rule in an app of all things? When I talked about the TravelBox on the Smack Talk podcast, I spoke a lot about mental health and the dangers of addiction to video games. I myself used to have a video game addiction, and it's really impacted my mental health and confidence.
Why did you come up with TravelBox? Like what sparked that idea?
So one day I got really angry and I just sold all my video games and I went and purchased a used camera. Which is why the rule for the app to get people outside is really important to me. Of all people, I understand how video games and apps can really hold you back in life. Which is a perfect segue to talk about the app that changed the game and pushed the gaming industry to go outside.
We're back now with something that may explain any odd behavior you've seen on the streets recently. The smash hit mobile game app Pokemon Go has only been out for a few days.
Pokemon Go hasn't even been out a week, and already it's a viral phenomenon.
Pokemon Go. Well, at least some folks are. It's a new mobile app game.
84 in St. Pete right now. Got a Pokemon? She's looking for Pokemon right now.
Pokemon Go had one of the most epic rise in gaming history. From becoming the most successful game in 2016 to having influencers and professional gamers video live stream their experience with the game. During the summer of 2016, the insanity of the launch of Pokemon Go had taken the world by storm, with influential figures saying that the Pokemon Go app is, quote, the closest we've ever been to world peace, seems to have resonated with people. It seems like everyone from all ages was playing it. The target audience wasn't gamers, it was everyone. Pokemon Go is a mobile application RPG game combined with augmented reality, a product that Niantic and Nintendo joint developed. The objective of the game is to capture as many Pokemon creatures as you can while navigating around your city with your phone in hands. The Pokemon are scattered across the world, and in order to catch them all, as its very own motto, you have to physically walk there. Once caught, the Pokemons are stored and classified in a virtual repository on your app. There have been countless Pokemon games created throughout the years, and most of them have failed. But what this game had that no other did was augmented reality, which meant that users needed to physically do things in the real world in order to advance in the game. For the first time, this app forced gamers to go out of their dark basements, go out and adventure and explore the world. That's nice and all, but why am I giving you a history lesson on Pokemon Go? Well, thanks to this app, Pokemon Go inspired the TravelBox's first rule. The app needs to force users to go outside and travel. In fact, it also meets the criteria for rule number 2. The app needs to have a focus on collecting destinations. Pokemon Go's achievements are built on collecting and storing Pokemon. The big key difference being that TravelBox operates in the real world, as Pokemon Go operates in a fantasy world. And if people are so willing to physically explore a fantasy world, why wouldn't they use an app that helps them explore the real world? Rule number 3. The app needs to be user-friendly. This was the hardest rule to accomplish. How do you provide as many features as possible to help the user accomplish their goals without overcrowding the interface? And frankly, without being intimidating? I've been on plenty of apps for research purposes, and I would tell myself, oh, if I weren't a web developer and IT expert, there's no way I'd have figured this app on my own. The best way to keep rule number 3 in check is by having a really simple user interface. simple layout, simple design, and having buttons only if absolutely necessary. Another way is by making the app a web application, meaning that people can access it from a website, no downloads required. And if all else fails, there are plenty of tutorial videos on how to use the app, both for the mobile version and the computer versions. Rule number 4, the app needs to be educational. It doesn't take a psychiatrist to discover that I love geography and history. By pulling the Google Maps on the site, we were able to create a really fun symmetry between an app and education. This way, people can use it and learn about the places they want to travel to. To be honest, this is still part of a puzzle that I'm still working on, but I think we have the ball rolling on this one. Rule number 5, the app needs to be a useful tool that you couldn't get anywhere else. Alright, now we're getting into the deep end. When building an app, this is usually number 1 on most people's list. The motivation is that you want to make a positive impact on the world and contribute something constructive to society. But also because competition is an app killer. You will always lose if you are a small-time app developer competing against large companies and offering the same product. All popular apps and platforms had one thing in common. They provided something fresh that hadn't been fully demonstrated before. I know I've talked a lot, so I'll end the video here, but if you have any suggestions that can make the app better, I'm open to hearing them. Anyways, stay inspired and stay adventurous.